welcome to another video. In this video, I will be sharing my worst and best towers of every difficulty in Duke's Towers of Hell. I won't be doing catastrophic, so the title is actually a lie because my hardest is only Tower Inception, so yeah, sorry about that guys. Anyway, remember these videos are just showcasing my opinions. Feel free to disagree in the comments, but just don't get too feisty down there. Anyways, enjoy the video guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. There weren't many options here, but I had to go for Tower of Funny Thoughts. I don't like this tower for a plethora of reasons, and they should all be blaringly obvious. While this tower is pretty easy to sight read and play through, it's really boring and bland to the point where you'd rather do any other tower and not this one. It's a free tower point, but the gameplay is so bland and the music choices just add insult to injury. This tower is my favourite easy, and by a long shot. No other easy towers come that close to this. This tower encapsulates the main theme really well, despite it not being so obvious from the get-go. After the first floor, it immediately becomes obvious what the theme is, venturing deeper and deeper into the sea. I also like that the tower is descending. We don't see many of those towers nowadays. Its gameplay keeps the player on their toes, and it has a wide scope of gameplay ideas and mechanics. It's a really good introduction to Zone 4 and the beginning of the modern JToH era. This tower basically has everything for a pretty bad tower. Compared to all the other mediums, I guess it's not too bad, but this tower is obviously just worse than the rest. The tower features literally an entire floor of just those long beams against the walls. While they're easily doable if you're an experienced hobbyist and know how to do two-stock climb-ups, how would a new player think of doing this? They would have to walk all the way around the frame multiple times, and not to mention, some of the corner jumps are quite tight. However, quite recently, Duke has published a statement that Tower of Madness is getting a revamp, which I'm quite intrigued to see. While this tower sneakily got into the game exceeding the par limit, I'm very glad that this tower actually got in. I love this tower's wedge gameplay style, it suits my kind of gameplay. This tower also has one of the nicest and cleanest gradients you'll ever see in a tower, the purple to vibrant magenta at the top. I find it to be quite elegant. This tower utilizes the slide mechanic, which I love as well. Who doesn't love a good slide? Speaking of, the tower features a long slide all the way down to the wind pad from the top of the tower, and you can't say you don't enjoy that. This tower also paved the way for its sequel, the Tower of Angled Scenery, one of the best challengings in the game. This tower is one of the main towers and why Ring 3 gets a lot of hate. Most of Ring 3 is filled with towers like this one, which just fuels the stereotype. Its gameplay isn't offensive, it's just nothing we haven't seen before in other towers. Boring copy and paste gameplay while also having a massive difficulty spike when you get to the final floors. Some of the jumps there are pushing challenging difficulty, it's ridiculous. All in all, it's your bog standard Ring 3 tower, boring, bland and unimaginative. I know, TOUID fan, what a shocker. But what is there not to like about this tower though? This tower changed the way we look at towers, completely changing the tower style of JToH forever. It's revolutionary in ways we never thought to be possible, bringing out the distinctive reverse gravity gimmick. When I played through the tower for the first time, I was as shocked as everybody else. People were head over heels for this tower, and rightfully so. For a tower that changed the modern tower game, it's the best you could have ever gotten. Yep, everybody's favourite utility from the kit, and have an entire tower revolve around said utility. The only positive thing I could think for this tower is that its name is fun to say. I really had to clutch at straws to even say one good thing about this tower. The idea of thinner tightropes makes sense and could have been put to so much better use, but we got this? Seriously, why? The thinner tightropes idea I think has a bit of potential, but instead we got Charlotte's Web turned into a JToH floor? Granted, the gameplay itself isn't too inept, but the tightropes could have been utilised a bit better. Yes, this tower is an absolute diamond. First of all, the tower's main theme already earns my points. If it wasn't obvious, this tower's whole idea is based around these geometric shapes called tetraminos. These are what all the floors are made from. I'm a massive fan of the minigames that come on every floor as well, and they start to develop more and more as you learn more mechanics in the tower. As well as this, I also like the use of the glide mechanic. It's a fun mechanic which is extremely fun to execute every single time. Never gets old. And the music choices as well, they really suit the tower. Overall, this tower is one of the best towers in the entire game. Oh no, where do I even begin with this? A tower based around tightropes was bad enough, but now ice? I'm already not the largest fan of ice gameplay, but to have an entire tower based around it, just no, I can't. I appreciate that the tower uses a few creative mechanics like this pinball machine, but the actual gameplay itself is extremely tedious because of all the ice. Also, the notoriously difficult floor 8 outside, where if you fall it's game over for you because you can't get back inside the tower. The tower also has a boss fight thing, but even that's not great because you're on ice for the whole thing. I don't really know what the creator was thinking when making all of this. However, they did have the biggest glow up, dropping Tower of Forever Sleeping Flower and then Tower of Sugar Rush Deluxe in Zone 9, which is one of my favourite towers in the game right now. I love this tower so goddamn much. I'm a massive fan of Armorhead's towers, and my favourite challenging before this one was Tower of Growing Madness, another one of his towers. But this tower dropped into Zone 9 and changed my opinion completely. Where do I even begin? From the switches, to the mixed perspective mechanic, to the zone crossing, it has everything for a perfect tower. Everything about this tower flows so nicely, even with all the different mechanics this tower equips. No, I literally did not want to play this tower just for this video, because it's that bad. Let's start with the fact that this tower has an outside section on every single floor. That's already a great sign for a brilliant tower. There are other towers that have the same idea, but the gameplay isn't so bad that you never want to play the tower again. I'm convinced that literally nobody favors this tower, like, at all. From the outside, it looks like a tower that's pretty interesting with everything that goes on with the frame and the outside sections, but the gameplay itself is absolutely revolting. Never touch this tower, just boost it. VM, just do something to not play the gameplay. This used to be my favourite tower, but was dethroned by a tower that will come up pretty soon in the video. This tower immediately throws you in the deep end with a speedrun insta-kill section, injecting an element of pace into the tower from the get-go. I find this to be a smart way to counter the fact that most towers have a slow starting floor 1 and only start to pick up the pace later into the tower, but this tower just starts out all guns blazing. The idea of different incantations of all the floors is a very nice touch, and the mechanics it uses are very creative as well. For example, the illusion parts on floor 8. I like how user interactive this tower is, which is cool. I could go on and on and on and on about this tower, but I'll just keep it at that. Who thought it was a good idea to let this abomination into the game? This tower is literally the most trap-filled tower, like, ever. If you know your way around the tower, it's reduced down to a somewhat passable tower, even though that's questionable. But if you're playing this tower for the very first time, I am so sorry. I couldn't even play the first 2 floors without having to practice them for 15 minutes. Imagine a new player playing this tower for the first time and being welcomed to this monstrosity. Don't play this tower, just don't play it. Boost it like TYO, just VM, don't play it. Oh my god, yes. This tower is my favourite tower in the game. I'm already a massive fan of Tazig towers, and already this tower is just the epitome of it. I adore this tower's gameplay style. It's surprisingly speedrunnable as well. I have the world record for it, having a time of 14.5 minutes. I could just play this tower for hours on repeat and never get bored. It really just is that good. I have no words. This tower is simply the greatest in the game. The introduction to the reverse control mechanic is genius. Furthermore, the music of this tower is just wonderful. My favourite is the Floor 4 music, Say It Back by TV Room. This tower is just, I have no words, it's just perfect. You know what? I'm absolutely gutted this tower actually got into the game. And I'm even more devastated at the fact that there's another tower made by the same person, which is even more punishing, has the same style and the same mechanics. Can't wait to play that one fully legit. Anyways, this tower is essentially the precursor to Tower of Wildly Wacky Wonders. The tower is split into two halves. First half is quite short and the second half is also pretty short, but you'll probably be loop failing quite a bit. It's a depressing extreme tower all in all, being added to one of the best sub-realms in the game. Kind of a massive letdown if you really think about it. Okay, call me crazy, but I genuinely think that this is the best soul-crushing tower in the entire game. Better than everything else. I'm not sorry. I love myself the punishing element of towers, but not to the point where it insta-kills you if you fail every jump like Tower of Wildly Wacky Wonders. Anyways, this tower's gameplay flows extremely well for an extreme tower, and especially for a tower that's, all outside. I also love the tower's music choices, perfectly capturing the intensity of the tower as you progress higher and higher. Dare you look down towards the Ring 8 lobby and you might be writing your own death note. This tower's atmosphere is unlike no other. Brilliant tower in every way. Yeah, typical Tower of Inception was terrifying, but it's absolutely justified. I'll make this super quick because everybody else who slanders this tower has all the points covered already. Thin studs, soft locks, insta-kills, yeah, not great. Although it gets a lot of slander, I don't think it deserves everything. Actually, never mind, this tower is absolutely stinking. Enough of this tower now, let's conclude this video on a high note. This tower may just look like your average mini tower, however that couldn't be further from the truth. Alert towers are always so unique and bring something new to the table, mixing it up. I love this tower for the fact that it's not your conventional tower in the sense that it's, tiny. The use of progress thief breaks is appropriate for the difficulty, I think. In the unnerfed version, there used to be insta-kills, so I'm quite thankful they aren't. However, I must admit, the terrifying towers in general aren't that great, so this tower didn't have much competition, barring Tower of Never Sweating, which is pretty good as well. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, I hope you enjoyed it. As I said in the intro, no catastrophic towers unfortunately. I'll try to post more videos now that I'm in college, but we'll just have to wait and see. I have a few video ideas proposed, so I can't wait to get started on them. That's all I have to say for this one, so see you guys all in the next video. Take care, have a good one. This is Sevens, signing out.